Welcome everyone to the Williamson County Board of Commissioners meeting. It's Friday, June 26th, 2026. It's 9:07 a.m. Can I have a roll call, please?
Tim Atkinson.
Present.
Jim Marlin.
Present.
Jim Reed.
Present. All right. Well, welcome everybody. So jump on into the agenda. Does anybody have any old business for this board today? Some discussion on extending operating hours for liquor establishments within the county. Now, I know we've had this discussion a couple of times in the past, but Jim, I think you've had some. Come
I
here.
invited Joe to come, and Joe pretty much represents all the bar owners in county pretty much. And Joe, I'll turn the floor over to you.
Okay.
If you would, and if you would stand on the golden X there, and you can tell everybody like what you discussed.
So I know, Tim and I have talked and Jim and I have talked about this in the past, and I had Martini Joe's on the Square for about 10 years, and then we moved over to what was the Pit Stop, which is now Southbound. We've changed the whole element to it. I've brought up about getting the license back to 2 a.m., which it used to be prior to us getting our license, back when the Pit Stop was there and Red Zone was there. And I understand the situation. If I was in your shoes, thank you for, doing your homework and taking the time to even bring this up. But the two problem bars from the past were the Red Zone and the Pit Stop. Most of the bar owners that I know that are in county are all very involved in their business, very, manage it well. You guys have all been in business yourself and realize the struggle that small businesses are facing these days. This is something where you guys can actually help these small businesses, because the bar business is struggling. It's not what it used to be. A lot of people don't go out like they used to. There's DUIs, much more prevalent and so forth. But it would help us a great deal if we could get it back to what it was, which was, I'm not looking to put a 3 a.m., 4 a.m., 5 a.m., just to get it back a 30 minutes more to what it used to be. That would give us at least some time to benefit when the bars do close and marrying at 1 o'clock. Instead of people just having alcohol and hitting the roads, they'll be in a controlled environment. And we've been very careful about making sure, the ordinances are followed. I'm there almost on a nightly basis, making sure that, the wrong crowd doesn't come in where we're having to utilize, county resources like there was in the past. And hey, if by some chance you're like, Joe, this isn't working out, you guys always have the power to rescind it, back to 1:30. But all I'm asking for is just a chance to allow us to make a little bit of money. It would mean a great deal.
Thank you, Joe. I did check on this. I looked at about 22 of the most southern counties in Illinois, all the way up White County, Monroe County, Randolph, all the way down to Alexander, Pulaski. Now the 16 of the 22 have operating hours that extend to closing. So about 73% percentage there operate to 2 a.m. The way I look at this, I was wanting to bring it to the board and just think about this. Now, we can't make a decision today because it's not really on the agenda. It's more or less a discussion. But the way I figure we got a couple options. One would be going to 2 a.m. On a trial basis, just see how it works out. I did send an email to the state's attorney and tagged sheriff on it to see if there's any issue with county going to 2 a.m. And I never got a response from either one. Or option two would be go 2 a.m. maybe on the weekends. Sunday being change. I don't know what the closing time is Sunday.
It's
What was it?
closing times the same. It's
Same.
Same 2 a.m.
Every day is one
Okay.
thing.
Or we can, so we can modify that, or, just like I said, Friday, Saturday. In some of the counties, that's the way it is, just on the weekend, so. Or I'm with you, Judge. So that's what I want to present to the board for discussion. Just want to get your guys' thoughts on this.
My initial thought is I wouldn't want to do anything that wasn't coordinated with municipalities. The county made a move to be open beyond or more beyond what the municipalities are, and we're encouraging people that are in establishments in the towns to take off and go to establishments in our county, putting more people on the road. I think it's a public safety issue. It would be nice to see some coordination there so we're getting everybody out at the same time. So,
May I make a quick comment? Just
Yeah.
as it stands right now, people are already hitting the road because in Marion, they close at 1 a.m. Now, John City, Heron, they're 2 a.m. But people are already hitting the road at that time. They're just rushing to get to these other establishments. And once they get there, it doesn't leave much time at that point, but they're still on the road.
So it looks like, from what Jim says, we don't really have much coordination. And some of the villages. I'm not sure if that could really be.
no, I get that.
Yeah, and right now, we're a half hour past the 1 a.m. That's what it is for Marion.
Yeah.
Generally,
Well, when, I brought this to you guys about a year ago, I think probably at Joe's request. And at that point, I talked to the sheriff and talked to the state's attorney, and they made arguments about this. But quite frankly, I mean, I didn't hear an argument that was strong enough in my mind to say, no, we shouldn't do this. I was for it then, Joe. I think I told you that. Then I was for extending the hours. I'm pro-business. Businessman comes in here and he's employing our people, and he's saying that he can do better. And I think maybe we should think about trying to make it so he can do better. But that's me. Once again, that's me. I was for it then, and I'm not heard, and I'm still open to listening to arguments that are against that. But honestly, I can't see a huge difference either way in 30 minutes.
I can't either, honestly. I know at that time that you brought it up, I didn't want to make a change, but talking with Joe, I think I just really see it as an issue with it. You know, like Joe said, we can always rescind it if we see it's a problem. Work closely with the state's attorney's office and sheriff to see, are we having problems because it's 2 a.m.? And if so, then cut it back.
Once again, I am 100% open to having the state's attorney and the sheriff come in here and give us strong, valid reasons why we shouldn't do that. In my view, that would be what I would base my final judgment on. But as I stand right now, I was for it a year ago. So
And maybe we should have asked the state's attorney, sheriff, to a meeting.
Yeah.
Discuss that here.
because it's not been just Joe. It was another person down in Lake Egypt area that had wanted that extra time. So, I mean, I think there's desire on the bar owner's part to have a little bit extra time. But once again, if there was a really good, valid argument against it, I would listen to it.
Said I would send an email to both of them. I got a response. So that's not from them. It's in our hands anyway. So, but I always want to work close. The law enforcement aspect of it.
Right.
Like I said,
Well, public safety still has to come into the argument, and that's the part
that's true.
we really need to make sure that.
That's true. And that's why I checked on these other counties. And 16 of them don't. A lot of these counties are very rural. rescue department. So there was a couple that he had it at 1 a.m. I think there was one that was at 12. But most of them do at some point. If you heard there are problems, you hear about it. News, you're always going to hear about it. So anyway, I guess what we need to do is send this out to the state's attorney. Sheriff.
Jim, since you brought this, do you want to handle that?
Sure.
Inviting them to the
Sure.
next meeting, if we could have a discussion about this.
It's fine.
Okay, and short of a response from them, I'd like to have this on the agenda to make a decision, one way or the other.
Yeah.
One way or the other.
That's why I was-
Let's put this to bed at the next meeting.
Yeah.
There's no sense in us keeping.
Yeah.
Mr. Lerner, over a barrel here, waiting on a decision from us.
Sound good?
Yeah, thank you guys so much for taking the time.
Okay.
And just, if you would, just let me know about the next meeting and I'll at least
Yeah.
come and so forth. Okay?
All right.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
All right. Any other new business on the agenda? Okay. Hearing none, let's move down to resolutions. We have a resolution to authorize the salary increase for state's attorney, public defender, and sheriff. And the state, they set the state's attorney's salary. In the resolution, they repay us for the state's attorney's salary. And when we do that, they also set the public defender's salary and then the sheriff's salary. So does anybody have any comments about this resolution?
Chairman, you asked me about this earlier, and I apologize. I did look at the numbers, and I could be incorrect because I just looked at this once again. It's my understanding the increase this year from the state was 4.1%, and this has 6.1%. That cost of living increase. So the numbers are correct, and I think we can pass this, but it has to, it needs that edit, I believe, unless I'm wrong.
You know what? I read that 6.1% and I immediately went to IMRF pension payments. So their pension, I did not go, and I know it was 4%, 4.1%.
The original email from Ashley was 4.1.
Right. If we just edit that, then everything
Yeah.
else I believe is correct, but I missed him on my read.
So
It was
all we just have to do is read the motion at
4.1%. And once again, those numbers are those amounts reimbursed from the state according to this percentages in this.
And set by the state.
Set by the state.
So with that being said, if there's no other discussion, I'll make a motion that we pass resolution number 26-06-26-25, authorizing the salary increase for the state's attorney, public defender, and the sheriff. The salaries for the following would be now set at the state's attorney at $228,317.97. The public defender would be at $205,486.17, and for the sheriff, $182,654.38. So that's one motion.
At a 4.1% cost of living increase.
I'll second.
Okay, any other discussion? Have a roll call, please.
Jim Anderson.
Yeah,
Jim Marlowe.
Yeah.
Jim Martin.
okay, I don't have any ordinances or committee board appointments. Is there any public comment? All right, moving down to miscellaneous, I see Clay's here.
Yeah,
I just got a call from Mark. Jim, what we talked about, he talked to Adam this morning, and Adam seemed to think it was gonna cost some more, so they was gonna get a different number from Chelsea today and get back with us on it.
on using those T brackets?
Yes,
Did you get some background, Clay?
Adam, well, in the beginning, the brackets on top of the kennels that go all the way to the ceiling, we had taken them out, we got a credit for that. Well, the credit we got back, Mark didn't like it. The credit we got back wasn't near what we was gonna have to pay to have done, they was quite a bit off, Mark said we didn't get near enough back on that, to do this, so. We've kind of come to the conclusion where we're just gonna go ahead and put the tops back on. The lighting issue we think was fixed whenever we put the two new rows of lighting in there, so. If it's gonna cost us X amount of dollars to do something different, which I think we all got an email the other day, I don't remember the exact number, but it was a considerably different number, If we was gonna do that, then why not just go back to the original plan and put the brackets on top, okay? Well, Adam seemed to think this morning that it would be a different cost now, and Mark did not think that it would be a different cost. He said, because we've already got 4 of them covered. And Adam seems to think, well, we take them out. Well, we wouldn't do that. Then we're done. We're not gonna take them out and go all the way up. We're gonna leave them like that and do the rest of it, so. He's gonna call me later today or somebody with a different number. I mean, me and Mark are on the same page. We don't think it should be any different, but for some reason Adam has on his mind that it should be a little different.
But the idea still is to use the T.
Yeah, the original idea, the four posts on each corner of the kennel going up to the ceiling.
Instead of, the other option would have been to put a bracket on.
Put a bracket in and drill into the,
On the block, anchored to the block.
Yeah. And that was gonna cost,
Yeah.
I can't remember, 7,000,
Plus you're tearing up-
there wasn't much difference in, the credit we got back and putting the brackets in to stabilize the gates. So,
And remind, your concern, from what I just heard, with the original plan, was that the fencing would reduce the light?
Yes.
You know?
yes. But when we put up the two new rows of lights, we think that,
Okay.
yeah, that was the original argument, but.
And now the issue is, and I was out the other day.
Yeah.
I'm just so everybody knows where we're at. The issue now is, without that bracketry to hold the fence
Yeah.
on the top, the posts that secure the
It's gonna be
gates
too wide,
are
yeah.
just unsecured.
So the original plan was to go all the way to the top with the 4 posts on each, well, that's gonna bracket that to the gate. And that solves that problem with the original plan. So we won't be getting that the credit, $11,000 or something like that we got
Right.
sometime back. We're just gonna say, hey, forget that. If it's gonna cost us X amount of dollars to do the bracketing, why not just go back to the original plan, because there was very few dollars difference.
It'd be possible to put the bracket, and I know you're not the architect,
Yeah.
but in your opinion, do you think it would be possible to put the bracket in and not put fencing?
Yeah, there's a plan, but it's gonna cost us money. That it's gonna get into that credit and pretty well eat up most of that credit up is what.
I was out there yesterday, and
Mark's
I was looking at 2 of the cells where I call them cell again. One had the fencing on top, next one did not, and I'm looking at the now lighting in the 2, and it was pretty equal. So. Yeah. The other thing was that gate, in between the 2 rows of kennels,
Yeah,
there,
the way it was designed, it just wouldn't fit in, or designed and manufactured, the workways in between the 2 kennels, that's where we'll do most of our work at, There's gates on each end of that. Well, we had to move the gate out just a little bit and to make the gate work. I mean, it's nothing.
otherwise
huge.
it's been a real skinny deal.
It's gonna be 18, 20 inches, just getting through there.
Just to get through the door.
Us bigger guys, we can't get through that 18, 20 inches.
Okay, is anything else on that?
No, we're gonna get, but like I said,
I'll
well,
wait to hear back.
Mark literally just called me as soon as this meeting started to let me know that, so. I think we're heading in that direction, but
It's more than likely will not be the last issue that you have.
No.
We understand. Pretty common stuff. Anybody else have anything on animal control? How about anything else in miscellaneous? Mr. Razor, we need to run into executive session to talk about personal issue. Stephanie, can you look at it from the last meeting?
So the last one was 5 ILCS 122C and 1.
Right, so under those two statutes, I'll make a motion that we go into executive session. Roll call, please.
Tim Matheson.
Yeah.
Jim Marlowe.
Yeah.
Jim Reagan.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, Mike.
Thanks, Michael. Take care, appreciate it.
I see.
We don't get any
Okay, so that's back on.
All right, welcome back. It's Friday, June 26th, 2026. It's 9:52. Can I have a roll call, please?
Tim Atkinson,
Present?
Jim Martin,
Present.
Jim Razor.
All right, does anybody have anything else for this board today?
No.
Hearing nothing, is there a motion to adjourn? Roll call, please.
Tim Atkinson.
Yay.
Jim Marlowe.
Yay.
Jim Razor.
Thank you, everyone.